Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you would like to know the price, simply click on the link in the description below. If you enjoy our videos, we would greatly appreciate it if you would buy a watch from JazzTime.com. Today, I'm going to be comparing the Rolex Submariner reference 116610 LV green anniversary dial, also known as the Hulk, versus the Rolex GMT-Master 2 reference 126710 BLNR, also known as the Batman or a Batgirl. Now I'm going to talk to you guys and compare each part: the case, the dial, the bezel, the bracelet, the movement, and then try out each one on and give you my thoughts. So let's dive right in. So they're both using a now, as far as the case, they're both using a Oyster 40mm case. Now, that 40mm is from my thumb to my index finger. Now, you'll see if you look at them straight on, they look identical, at least in terms of size. 40mm going this way and this way. The height also is the same. I measured it earlier. It was about 12.3 millimeters, and if you look at them side by side, you'll see that that's true. Okay. Now, let's talk about the bezel, because the case is pretty much identical. The bezel, now, as far as you can see, it's quite obvious. The one on the left, the Submariner, is green. The one on the right is black and blue. But let's take a little step further and see what else you can see from all this. If you look at the Submariner, you see that the hour marker, or the markers here, are slightly different, and that's because you see how it goes graduated until 15, and then it has these spaces. Whereas on the GMT, it's just 24-hour graduated markers every 2 hours, right? And why is that? Well, because they do different functions, okay? So, for example, the Submariner is used to calculate elapsed time. So if I set the bezel right here, for example, like I just did, I set the bezel, the triangle, to the minute. Now that'll tell me how much time has elapsed. Like if the minute gets to 30, then that'll be 10 minutes. I look at the bezel. Now on the GMT, it's used for calculating what time it is in a different different time zone. So it's not going to have that same feature. So you can turn and I can't go into how to do it here, but you can use the bezel to have a third time zone. So that is a difference. Now they're both made of ceramic. They're both made they're both durable, and they're the same size. But you can hear this Submariner. It clicks like that. Whereas the GMT doesn't click because it's not used to calculate elapsed time. Make sense? Okay, now let's move on to the dial. Now, the dial on the Submariner is green. It looks like green in this light, like I just turned it. The dial on the GMT is black. Both of them are using a maxi dial with hour markers, and they have both a date function. Now, the GMT has one extra function with this 24-hour hand right there, and that's the GMT hand. It's able to tell a second time zone. I actually can't go into it in this video, or it's going to make it too long, but it does. The GMT has an extra function, whereas the Submariner does not. I think that's also notable, and yeah, okay, so that's the dial. Now let's move on to the bracelet. Now the bracelet, as you can see on the left, is the Submariner is an Oyster bracelet, and it has 3 links across, whereas the GMT, it has 5 links across, and it's also known as the Jubilee bracelet. Okay, now it's up to you which one you like more. I actually like both of them, but yeah, the Batman used to come on an Oyster. It no longer does. It now comes on the Jubilee. Now let's move on to the clasp. Now, if I hold this clasp side by side, what do you guys notice? The Submariner has a longer clasp, right? You see how it's like a little bit longer if I'm holding right next to each other? And that's because on the Submariner, you have this like much longer comfort extension, which is like 20 millimeters that you can pull. And the reason for that is because this is supposed to be used as a dive watch. You can presumably fit it over your cuff, or the cuff of your wetsuit. You see, like, you can push it in like that. You see how it's got all those little teeth? Okay? Whereas the GMT, you can't do that. It only has a 5 millimeter comfort extension, which goes like that. and you kind of have to set it. And that's because they have different functions. Presumably you would dive with this Submariner, and you would fit it over a wetsuit cuff, and on the GMT it's supposed to be a pilot's watch, which obviously you don't need to fit it over the cuff of anything, and so you wouldn't need that. So it does have its function. I think it's pretty cool. Now both of them have the Oyster lock safety clasp, which means you fold it over twice. You fold over once the first part, click, and then you fold over the second part. Now if I hold them side by side, you can see the Submariner one's longer, and if I hold them sideways like this, you can also see that. Okay, so that I talked to you guys about almost every part except the movement now. Now the movement on the Submariner is a 3135, and it's been around for like 20 or 30 years. On the Batman, they've refreshed it, I think in 2018 or so, and it went from a 3186 to a 3285. Now I've seen what those movement looks like, and the Batman movement 3285 looks a lot cooler than this Submariner 3135. I have a feeling though that someday they're gonna probably update the Submariner at some point, and yeah. Okay, well anyways, I told you I would tell you about each part, and I have, so now it's time to try it on. Now the Submariner, I think it's classic. I think, you know, people looking for a stainless steel watch that they can throw around and just have it you know, look like just hip and still, you know, kind of dressy all at the same time. It's a classic. I mean, James Bond wore it. You really can't go wrong with that. The GMT, on the other hand, you know, I mean, it's also iconic. It's these are actually the two most iconic watches that Rolex makes, and that's actually the hardest two watches to get. But we actually have them at jazztime.com for the lowest any price anywhere online. So the case for the GMT is that, you know, it's a classic watch. It's not as sporty, I would say, because it has this Jubilee, but it's a little bit more dressy. So you could have a watch that it has a sporty case, but has this dressy bracelet as well. For the Submariner, it's just a much more sporty watch. So, you know, I don't know. They both have their plus and minuses. So, like, if you can afford it, you can buy both. If you can't, then you can buy one. That's what most people do. And check us out at jazztime.com, JAZTIME.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.